Welcome to the Polished Pigment Powder tutorial. In this video, I'll show you how to use polished pigment powders from Numenart in your paper crafting. These powders are pure color mixed with the added sparkle of mica powder. The colors are very intense and have the shimmery look of pearls. They are very concentrated, so little goes a long way. Because they are so concentrated, the powder will stain your hands, clothes, work surfaces, and carpet, so protect these areas with a plastic tablecloth or newspaper. And be sure to wash your brushes and stamps when you are finished. One of the easiest ways to use these powders is to create beautiful backgrounds. Start by selecting a few colors. I'm going to use Poppy Red and Lemon Drop for this project. And what you're going to do is just mix a little bit of these powders with Simple Solution, and I'm using Simple Solution number 1. Simple Solution is an acrylic medium that's not too thick or thin. It can be used on paper, plastic, and walls. And you can also use it on polymer clay that has already been baked. I'm just going to take a little bit of color, and with this tiny spoon or the edge of a brush, just put a tiny bit in there. You could always add more later if you want. Out the red, and now I'll get my yellow out. Just mix a little Simple Solution. And depending on how intense the color you want, you would either add more of the pigment or more of the solution. You just want to make sure it gets really mixed in there. I think I might add a little bit more solution to both of these. Now, when you first use a color for the first time, what you want to do is brush a little sample of it on a color chart like this one. It's a nice reference to see what the colors look like once they're dry, and it's great for future projects. And this chart will be available on the Flourishes website. We're going to start by using a piece of watercolor paper. Watercolor is very forgiving, that's why I like it. And what we'll do is we're going to lightly dampen the paper with water. And it's very light. You just want to get just a little bit of water, and it will help spread the pigments. Then you're going to brush on some color, choosing your lightest color first. And you want to make sure you use a different brush for each color. So I'll start with my yellow. And the colors are very vibrant even though we've got water on the paper. And I'm going to do much of the color yellow on this and just have a little bit of red because I really want the colors to mix. And here's my red. Look at that gorgeous red. Very vibrant. And if you want to do a little bit of blending, take a separate brush and kind of blend like this. Now, to really get blending, you're just going to spray a little bit of water and let the colors run. And if you want the colors to soften, add more water. And you could use a brush to brush some off or more on to blend more. Whatever it is you want to do. I want to really get the view of more orange in the middle. So once you're satisfied with what it looks like, you're just going to set it aside to dry. So let me set this aside. Now, once that's done, what can you do with it? Well, this is a journal I made using those same colors and watercolor paper. I just cut the paper down to size and created my journal book, and then stamped images on the front, and then with scraps of the colored paper made a title with an alphabet stamp set. You can see this is one sheet that I created, and the back is a little bit different. It's the same color scheme, but it's more of the mix of the orange and red. Another sheet I did was with a different color scheme. This is with green, blues, and purples, and it has a slightly different look because I didn't mix the waters. I just drizzled some water on and allowed the water to pool, so it almost looks like a tie-dyed t-shirt. And I've stamped my image here, and later on I will cut that out and use it in a different project. And this sheet was done with the similar colors, blue, green, and purple, only this was done on glossy cardstock. And I didn't use any water on this sheet. I just brayered the colors on and allowed them to blend. And because this is glossy card sheet, you can see more of the sheen or the pearlized. It hasn't been diluted with the water. So there are some sample backgrounds that you can make. Coloring in an image with polished pigments is very easy. I stamped this image on regular cardstock in a color fast ink. And I've already mixed my color, so all you have to do is simply dip your brush in the color and start coloring. A little goes a very long way, and once it's dry, it will create a beautifully vibrant image with a little shimmer. And this is my finished piece. Now, can you use it on vellum? Sure. Again, I stamped my image with the palette inks, and I just colored in using greens and blues colors on the image, and you can see how pretty that turned out on vellum. What's nice about vellum is the color shows through, so you could actually use the reverse image by merely turning it over, or you can color on the reverse side and allow it to show through It provides a little softer look. Now here's something different. I took clear embossing powder and this color green, it's called fresh oregano, and mixed a little bit of the powder with my clear embossing powder and created this pretty green embossing powder. And then I just stamped my image in Versamark and embossed it with that embossing powder and created this pretty image. The camera just does not show the color very well, but it's a very pretty metallic green. Just think of all the different colors of embossing powder you can create with your polished pigment colors. How about dominoes? You can use these colors on dominoes. Simply brush on your color and allow it to dry. And with dominoes, it'll take a little bit longer to dry. You might have to heat set it. And then just stamp using a color fast ink. And when that was done, I just used a gold leaf pen to edge the side. In this last project, I'm going to show you how to make tiles. And this project started out because I just wanted to test some colors and see what they looked like. I began with 2-inch square pieces of white chipboard. And I like using chipboard because it's heavier than cardstock and really holds up well when you're testing products. And from the 2-inch square tiles, I brushed on some color, and this is called Jasmine. And all I did was just brush it on at this point. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. And then what I did is I took some gold metallic, this is called real gold, and just mixed it with a little simple solution and just spattered it randomly like that onto my painted piece. And you really can't see it, the spatterings of gold on there. Now what I'm going to do is randomly stamp some images. Like so. And then I'm going to use this Stardust gel pen and just highlight some of the stamped images to provide a little bit of glimmer. And you just follow the lines of the stamped image. It just adds a little bit more glitter, and I think it's a real pretty effect, especially because the polished pigments also have a little bit of shimmer, so the stamped image doesn't look so flat. And I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up or not, but it's very, very pretty. Now, you can stop right here, and this would be a very pretty element to add to a scrapbook or a card, or you can take it a step further. And what you can do is emboss this square, completely emboss it with clear embossing powder, and use a gold leaf pen around the edges. And that is what I have done with this one. I used 2 coats of clear embossing powder. I don't know if you can see, there we go, the tiled look. There we go. And I edged it with a gold leaf pen, and it just has a more finished tiled look on it. Either way you do it, leaving it embossed or embossed, it'll work well with either of your projects. So I did a bunch of these 2-inch squares in a number of different colors, and my finished project looks like this. And what I did was I started out with 2 different colors on each row. This is the lemon drop, and this is a poppy red, and the center square is just the blending of the 2 in each of these rows. So I have my yellow and reds, my blues and greens, and my purples and pinks. And then I merely stamped random images over them and mounted it on a piece of black cardstock that I have sprayed gold webbing on. I do wish the camera could pick up the pretty shimmery look of this, but it just doesn't do so. Thanks for watching.